Everyone. My name is Hongbo. I work on BuckleScript. Can you hear me? Okay. So one pain point of the BuckleScript is because it's compiling one language to another language. Then the value which is in the representation is different in OCaml, which is different from the JavaScript. We can improve. There are two ways to improve. One is you just compile the OCaml string to JavaScript string, right? Then in Chrome, you can in the debugger you can see the string just like the JavaScript, and then like array, which is also same. The OCaml array is the same as the JavaScript array. And recently, thanks to Cristiano, we may also make the OCaml boolean, which is the same as the JavaScript boolean. So it's easy for you to interoperation with the JavaScript. But something which is really hard to make OCaml value representation, also idiomatic in JavaScript. For example, like the local module, currently we compile the global module into a dictionary, which is easy to inspect in the JavaScript side. But for the local module, we compile to an array. So when you console the log in JavaScript, which is not very obvious, and also, which is also applies to the record. Record, we also compile record to JavaScript array, which is also less easy to debug. And like the exception, as if you use BuckleScript, probably you will see some magic number like 248. 248 is the OCaml exception ID, which is very confusing. And like other like polymorphic variant, which will be compiled to magic number in JavaScript when you debug. So to address this pain point, we are going to introduce a new flag in the compiler, which is a bs-g debug flag, which will be available in next release. So the idea is we still keep the OCaml representation the same as the old one, but we instrument more data in the debug mode, in the debug flow. So we, in combination with the Chrome debug tools, we can recover most information in a debug environment. So it's easy to visualize the OCaml value in the Chrome debugger. Like thanks to Chrome, they have the custom object formatter, so you can customize how to visualize the data value in your debugging environment. So it's easy to visualize. I mean, let's see the demo. So here is we write the different values in one file, which would define a record, type T, whatever. And to enable the debug, you just need to call the one function in the beginning, build.debug.set up the Chrome debugger. That's all you need. Then you get this all for free. Then you have like a lot of the values, just random values. I will show you later how it will be visualized. We have a record, two records, and a list of value. And it will define an exception. We also define some open exception and some variants. Previously, this will all take the record example. For example, the V will be array. The U will also be array in the debugger. And here we have local module N, two local module N. Let's comment this for the beginning. Whatever. Okay, so this debugger also works on both on the node and the browser. Recently, the node community, they have like integrate the Chrome debugger inside the node, so you can use the debug in both node and the browser. Here we have node -- inspect break and the file. Then we start debugger on the browser. Here we open the DevTools. You see, you go to the generate files. Yeah, we just enlarge the font. Okay, so we will go through to here. Okay, so now if we go to the panel, the local panel, you see the the values like the previous, like the record U, right? I think we can just type in a repo like U. Oh, sorry. U will be a record which is A B, which is previous is just an array. Now you have a record and you have option which is displayed as sum 2. So it's much better visualized than before. It's easy to debug. Not just for record. Here we see the U, V, right? V is also a record. And also for the and it also works in a visualized. So it's suppose like you go to here U, and we unfolding, basically in most places. Not just for the record, also like the list. List will now be 1, 2, 3, 4, and the third example is the exception. Oh, no, the variant, the V0, which is A3, V0. Now, let me see. It's an exception, right? So no longer magic number. We say exception for the V0. V1 is also exception. And we can see the polymorphic variant. V2 is a polymorphic variant. So we have like the tag is no longer magic number. We have backtick C and its value. But we still preserve the magic number in just for easy debugging. And for the local module N, for the local module N, you see that now it's defined as a module. You have two fields, which is A and B. It also works with the local module. And yeah, and I think one very extreme example is the formatter in the Occam standard library, which is a very huge record. Now it's much easier to debug in the formatter. If you have a very complex record, previously it will be a very large array which you don't know which field. Now you see the format is, which is quite complex. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The good thing is the code in release mode and debug mode, they can be mixed together. The debug mode will be slightly less efficient, but you can mix them together. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So it will be available in next release.